Hi, my name is Miss Sarah, and I'm going to share a story with you today. So, let's get ourselves ready to enter the story. This box looks like a parable box, doesn't it? It's gold with a lid, but it looks different, doesn't it? There is a picture on top. Who is in this picture? That's right, it's the Mother Mary and the baby Jesus. This picture shows the incarnation, which is a big word about how God became a baby. I wonder if inside we will find something about the mystery of Christmas. Shall we open it? This box has the whole story in it. Parts of the Christmas story are not told very often, but it all needs to be told, even the sad parts. Look, do you see what is happening to the Mother Mary? This is the Annunciation. The angel Gabriel is announcing to Mary that God has chosen her to be the mother of God. Do you see Mary, the angel? They have the same colors, but the angel has wings. Mary was scared, but happy. She was stunned, but blessed. Mary was a lucky girl because she had an older friend to talk to. It was Elizabeth. She went to visit her cousin Elizabeth. Elizabeth was much older, maybe even old enough to be Mary's mother. When Mary came close to Elizabeth and greeted her, something wonderful happened. Elizabeth felt the baby inside her move when he heard Mary's voice. She said something like, "Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the baby you are going to have." When you spoke, the baby within me jumped. Something wonderful is going to happen with your baby and with mine. When Elizabeth said that, Mary began to sing a song people call the Magnificat, because it begins, "My soul magnifies the Lord." Look at the halos. These are the gold circles of light around some of the people. They are the holy ones. The artist used real gold in his paint, or beat the gold out very, very thin and pressed it into the paint and plaster to make these gold halos. In this picture, the ones with the halos are Mary and Elizabeth. See how young Mary is. Look how old Elizabeth looks. The artist wanted us to remember that Elizabeth was too old to have a baby and was old enough to be a really wise and good friend to Mary. Wait, let me finish the story. This is the part of the story that people often leave out because there is no picture for it. It is about the other baby that was born. Elizabeth's husband, Zechariah, was a priest. It was his time to work at the temple So he went inside to burn the incense and pray. When Zechariah was at the altar, he glanced over to his right, and there was a bright light. "Don't be afraid," the angel said. Angels are messengers from God, and they are scary. But the angel said, "Don't be afraid. I bring you good news. You and Elizabeth will have a baby." "But we are too old," Zechariah said. And that was the last thing he said. The angel took away his words. It is not a good idea to argue with an angel. The angel then told Zechariah that the baby's name was supposed to be, and disappeared. Mary stayed for 3 months with Elizabeth and then went home to Nazareth. Elizabeth had her baby. Friends came to help her. When the baby was born, they all wanted to name him Zechariah, after his father. Zechariah shook his head. No. And then wrote, "The baby's name is John." When they named the baby John, Zechariah could speak again. It was then that he said his prayer. It is called the Benedictus, because it is a poem or song of praise that begins, "Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel." He was so happy. Then Mary's baby was born. That's why this is called the Nativity, which means the birth. See how Mary is lying down? She is awake and happy. But Joseph is asleep. Joseph was like a father. But the baby was from God. The baby is wrapped in strips of cloth. These strips are the swaddling clothes you sometimes hear about in the story. Look at all the angels. They are so happy. They are flying all over and singing the Gloria in Excelsis. You may have heard this song in church. It sings, "Glory to God in the highest, peace to his people on earth." This is another part of the story that is often left out. It is called the presentation. After a time, Mary and Joseph took their new little baby to the temple in Jerusalem. It was the custom to present a new baby there to celebrate its name and to dedicate the baby to God. When Mary and Joseph took the baby into the temple to be dedicated to God, an old man named Simeon came up and looked at the baby. He took the baby in his arms and said, "Now I can die in peace." What was he talking about? When Simeon was younger, God told him that he would not die before seeing the Holy One who was coming and would change everything. That day, Simeon knew Jesus was the one he had been waiting for. Then old Anna came up and looked at the baby. She also saw that this was the Holy One, so she gave thanks to God and told everyone in the temple what had happened. Simeon is holding the baby. Mary is still holding out her arms. Joseph is bringing 2 birds to the temple. That was the custom in those days. Here is old Anna. She loved to be in the temple as much as she could. I don't know why she doesn't have a halo. Look at her coat. At first, it looks brown and old. But if you look closely, it seems to be all gold. When old Simeon held the baby, he said a prayer we remember and sometimes sing. It begins, "Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace." The 3 kings, the Magi, the wise ones, finally arrive. They were late. Every year they are late. Here they are, adoring the baby. That means that they are just standing there and looking at the baby and enjoying him. They also brought presents. Look at the star. This is the wild star that they have been following. The artist didn't know very much about camels. He knew they had long necks, a bump, and long legs. But their faces, they look more like donkeys. See their long ears? That doesn't matter. We still know what the artist was trying to paint. This is a part of the story that is often left out too. It is no wonder people do not tell this part. It is too sad. It's called the Massacre of the Innocents. The three kings followed the star to the land where Jesus was born. When they came into the land, they went to see the king, King Herod, in Jerusalem. When King Herod heard them say that they were looking for a baby king, he was very interested. He did not want that baby to grow up. Herod wanted to be the only king in the land. "Come and tell me when you find this king," he told the Magi. "I want to come and worship him." Herod was not telling the truth. He wanted to kill the new little king. The three kings, the wise ones, did not tell Herod. They went home by another way. They were really, really wise. But Herod did not forget. He asked his soldiers to look in the scriptures and find where it said the king would be born. They told Herod the place would be Bethlehem. Herod sent his soldiers, and they killed every baby boy that they could find, who was 2 years old or younger. It was a terrible thing. The mothers and the fathers were very sad. You can see that already. Many babies have already been killed. The soldiers took them from their mothers. No one here looks happy. Not even Herod. If you could see in the mother's eyes, the artist tried to make them look very, very sad. Their eyes are long and narrow. I guess our story is over then. No, it is not. The baby, Jesus, did not die in Bethlehem. An angel came and told Joseph to take his little family to another country. And they fled far away to the land of Egypt. Mary and the baby rode on the donkey, and Joseph led the way. When Jesus grew up, he grew into greatness. And the mystery of Christmas increased.